Jean Silva will one day be considered a UFC GOAT. With the playfulness and deadly precision exceeding even prime Anderson Silva, Jean calculates opportunities mid-fight that even other top fighters cannot comprehend. In this video, I'll break down the reads and adjustments behind Jean's devastating finishes and how his relaxed killer mentality will dominate the featherweight division. If you like cold, in-depth UFC analysis, subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get started. Even the best fighters have patterns. From Islam always countering with a lead hook, to Strickland dropping his lead hand after a jab, these tendencies create small opportunities that can be exploited. While someone like Drake has game plans around abusing a specific weakness, Silva identifies and punishes patterns in real time. Let's go all the way back to Silva's Contender Series fight. Vallejos was giving Silva a lot of problems in round 1. Silva likes to throw wide lead hooks to set up a lunging cross. Regardless of whether he's on the front foot or back foot, the lead hook is arguably his most emphasized tool. As Vallejos is an extremely talented counterboxer, he would slip Silva's hooks on the outside and rip on the inside. This led to Silva losing round 1, the last round Silva has lost to date. But true to his nature, by the start of round 2, Silva made the perfect read on Vallejos' slipping pattern. Vallejos slips down and forwards, often to his right so that he can load his dominant hand. Silva switched to lead vertical elbows, which minimized the amount of time Vallejos had to slip. It also ensured that if he started slipping, he'd move forwards and down right into the bone of the elbow, maximizing the damage dealt. Silva cut open and hurt Vallejos with set elbows, before putting on the pressure and throwing a massive knee right where Vallejos was slipping. This rocked Vallejos badly and solidified Silva's momentum in the fight. Silva would only improve on his ability to make reads from here. In Silva's first real UFC test against Jourdain, Silva showed a dramatic evolution in his approach. Jourdain started with a kick-heavy strategy in order to avoid Silva's power, but when Jourdain lunged forwards and overextended with the head kick for the first time, Silva immediately noticed. The second time it happened, Silva lunged in with a lead hook to try to punish the overextension. While Jourdain was able to react in time and evade, it displayed Silva's new mentality of identify once, then punish instantly. As soon as that failed, Silva simply moved on to the next pattern. The next read Silva made was on Jourdain's blitz. As Jourdain blitzed forwards, multiple things happened at once. 1. Silva instinctively threw a lead hook counter, but wasn't planted well so there was no power on it. 2. Jourdain dropped his lead hand, leaving room for the lead hook counter. And 3. Silva moved back and blocked the cross with his rear hand. If you're up for a challenge, pause the video and guess exactly how Silva will punish this and comment your guess down below. Here's the answer. Jourdain's next blitz was different, but still had the same tendencies. As soon as Silva sees it coming, he moves away from the first attack again, but then anticipates the second attack, plants his feet, slips a strike, and blasts the lead hook counter to Jourdain's exposed chin. This dropped Jourdain and set the tune for the rest of the fight. Dober became a strange challenge for Silva, mainly because both of Silva's hands cracked before Dober's chin did. As we all know, Dober is incredibly durable. Even though Silva was outpointing him with ease, no matter how many counters he landed, he couldn't seem to really hurt Dober. This led to a funny round 2, in which Silva was effectively just upping the destructive nature of the strikes he threw until Dober was actually hurt. Early on, Silva identified that when Dober bounces into range, he's setting up a cross, making timing a counter quite easy. The hook counter couldn't hurt Dober, so Silva switched to the elbow. After slightly missing one elbow, Silva adjusted by stepping in as he threw the next, landing it flush. Even the elbow didn't rock Dober, so Silva utilized his calculated position and timing to blast a spinning elbow. Finally, that hurt Dober, and Silva was able to open up a massive cut which eventually led to the finish. While it was a weird fight, it showed Silva's ability to adapt when his primary weapons aren't working. Whenever Silva has a tough fight, he seems to grow a lot, which seemed to be the case going into the Melsik fight. This fight was clean and simple. Silva feinted a lead hook into cross, which drew a reaction of Melsik throwing his own lead hook and mispositioning his rear hand. The hand was mispositioned potentially due to Melsik expecting a round kick. Since they were in open stances, the round kick is a threat and the cross is generally the most effective punch to throw. Silva decided to risk eating a lead hook and committed to the combo, catching Melsik clean with the cross and promptly finishing him. Silva has overall evolved to identify and punish patterns constantly. If you don't show him something he can abuse, he'll bait or force it out of you. Even if his preferred weapons are neutralized, he'll keep adapting until he finds something that gets the job done. Silva's two-sided mentality is confusing but very effective. He's extremely relaxed and doesn't seem to treat fights seriously at times, but then when he locks in and hunts for a finish, he's absolutely ruthless. Both sides of this mentality serve him in different ways. Silva's relaxed nature helps him create opportunities in a way no other fighter has. Most fighters want to control where the fight takes place. This may be pressuring on the front foot or countering on the back foot, but they have a preferred flow of the fight that they will attempt to create. Silva, in contrast, encourages his opponent to take control of the fight and turns it into a trap. Vallejos likes moving forwards in fights, so Silva feigned being super uncomfortable on the back foot. He went as far as pretending to try to run to get off the fence in order to encourage Vallejos to push forwards. Silva then attempted to set up flying knees. It ultimately didn't work because Vallejos is very measured, but it did force Vallejos to reduce his pressure. Jourdain likes to pull people into his blitz. Silva therefore pushed forwards and let Jourdain bait him into his blitzes, only to read the blitz and score the knockdown. Dober likes to pressure on the front foot and explode in, so Silva let him do so and walked him into elbows. By staying relaxed and not forcing anything, Silva is able to lure his opponents into a false sense of control and exploit weaknesses they'd never imagined. Silva's ruthless nature helps him maintain the focus to create damage when no one is expecting it. Fighters are often most vulnerable during transitions, but very few fighters exploit that moment properly. Silva already has 2 highlights just from punishing the break. The first was the uppercut TKO against Jourdain off his failed takedown attempt, and the second was the 3rd round spinning elbow against Dober, once again after a failed takedown attempt. There's just ultimately no safe moment in a fight against Silva, which makes him a terrifying opponent. So let's now directly answer why I think Silva will be a GOAT of the sport. While like anyone else he has his weaknesses, I don't know how any featherweight would beat him. He has spectacular takedown defense, he has power in his hands, he has proven cardio, he gets better as the fight goes on due to his reads. He has a solid chin, he has submissions. Let's even say that he loses to Lopez. I don't think he will, but Lopez is fast and powerful, so anything is possible. Silva is only 28 years old, he has plenty of time to improve, which is a scary prospect seeing how good he already is. Whether it's this year, the next, or the following, I cannot see him not becoming champion. Once he's there and in his prime, it would take a featherweight of the likes we've never seen to stop him. I'm known to be very critical in my content, and I don't mind that. I generally enjoy breaking down weaknesses and flaws. The fact that I have nothing to criticize about Jean Silva should say a lot. His fights are my definition of art, and I'm excited to see how far he can go. Once again, if you like in-depth analysis, subscribe, hit the bell, and join the community. Thank you for watching, and until next time.